What is up, people? It's time for Keeping It Real Estate on the Beach. I'm your host, the Real Estate Coach. We're coming at you every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And I'm here with my friends in the booth, Frank Casarez, REO Frank. What's happening?
Good morning, Long Beach. And everywhere else.
Alissa Alvarez, the mortgage mistress.
Hey, guys.
And Scotty Schang, the Dean of HomeOwnership University.
Good morning.
All right, guys, we got a packed show today, so let's get right into it.
Phone calls already.
Yeah, I know. It's probably Evan telling me I did something wrong.
Nobody can hear
Congratulations,
Alissa,
Evan.
you got a topic. It is, where do appraisals come from? Like, where do babies come from? Go!
Yeah, the birds and the bees, man. So let's talk about what is an appraisal. So an appraisal is basically a valuation of a property that's based on the current and local market activity. Would you say so, Frank?
What are you looking at me for?
Tag
Of
team.
course.
So appraisal, one thing to remember, it's meant to protect the lender. Okay, the appraisal, pretty much the whole purpose is to justify the purchase price. And a bank basically doesn't want to give you any more money on the loan than what the property is worth, because the property is essentially the collateral for that loan.
Right.
Okay,
They won't lend you more than the home is worth.
Correct.
Why?
So,
I don't get it.
Really?
really?
How come they won't lend more than it's worth?
We tried that. We tried that.
Well,
Don't do that anymore.
Well, I mean,
It loses you money. Okay.
What do I sound like,
So-
Barney Frank right now?
No, you
Well,
sound
what-
like
well,
2004 through 2007.
Those are
Here's
good
the
years.
one
Yeah.
thing that I hear a lot of. You know what? I don't want to set the appraisal yet, and I'll hear this on like refinances because the house isn't clean yet, or I got to mow the lawn. Okay, none of that matters.
Right.
Okay, appraisers do not care about that. It's not a home inspection. What they're basically going to do, they're going to take the physical characteristics or the dimensions and compare it to the other like properties in your neighborhood. Okay, so cut, lawn, clean house, none of that comes into play. They're going to go ahead and take pictures, measurements, all that jazz, and it could take anywhere between 2 days to a week for a report, depending on the type of lender or the more specifically the appraisal management company that the lender is working with. So that's essentially the big thing. If you don't, and Frank's actually going to talk about later today, what happens if the appraisal doesn't come in. Just be aware that an appraisal isn't an exact value for that home.
Well, what are we paying for then?
yeah.
Again, it's to just justify the purchase price.
Actually, the way I describe it is that the home is worth what
the
somebody
market
would pay
for.
to
Willing
live
to
in
pay
that
for it.
neighborhood.
And here's the key, though. Different people will be willing to pay different prices.
Yeah,
So it's hard to
right.
pinpoint
There's two sides of it.
Right. It's hard
Yeah.
to pinpoint any one value. So the real purpose of it, to keep in mind, is you just want to make sure that it's enough. It's worth enough.
It's a roundabout market
justify.
value
Right.
of the neighborhood,
And it's going
basically.
to be
Right.
specific to current sales.
Well, then, hold on a second. Time out. You guys are saying two different things in my mind, and maybe the listeners are feeling the same thing. One of you saying it's emotional, and one of you is saying it's statistical.
It's actually
both.
it's actually both. As far as the
How can an appraiser judge emotion?
No, actually, price can be emotional, but value is what somebody would pay to live in a similar home in a similar area,
Or has paid.
That's value.
And that's the key here,
Yeah.
because it's what
Yeah,
has
has
been
paid.
paid. There, a lot of people will take into consideration like the pending, or not pending sales,
Yeah,
but like
no.
what's listed. But it
Yeah, but you
hasn't
can't
been
go by
sold yet.
listing
You
price
can't,
because that could be
No.
overpriced.
No, they'll go by
Right.
pendings. I mean, the appraiser
They
will
can
look
look
at
at
pendings,
pendings.
And solds,
but
right?
the bank
Sold
will.
is the main.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon, and it wasn't uncommon in the past for somebody to want to pay more than the home is worth because they're buying the community, and their family's going to live there for 10 years.
And especially
20
in this
years.
market where
Right.
you've
People are
got 20
overbidding.
multiple
Yep.
offers and you've
Right.
got the buyer who's put offers in on 20 other homes and they're just
Right.
tired of it and you want to go for the throat.
Yeah,
Yep.
the home is worth $210. You pay $220. You pay $10,000 out of your pocket, plus you get your loan, and because you know you're just going to live in that neighborhood and that home, and the prices are rock bottom right now, but the appraised value, right, doesn't
But
really.
as
have
a
any
buyer,
emotion
the
in it.
main thing to keep in mind is that it's strictly, the whole purpose is just to justify the purchase price. Okay, and it's for the bank. So that's why you'll see a lot of times the appraisal come in right at the purchase price. Surprise,
establish
surprise.
the
Yeah.
purchase price.
Amazing.
So it's I
not
had this
justify,
conversation.
establish.
Established.
Justify was
I think sometimes
that was
it's
bad.
That's a
think
great
I'm
show.
gonna
I love
say
Justify.
I'm going to say justify because that's ultimately what the bank is
Right.
wanting to do.
I think there are times when it's
Prove
simply,
it to
oh
me
God,
that this is,
I better come in at 250 or this thing's going to fall apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, all of the appraisal world is different now than it used
A
to
lot
be
different.
because what it used to be is the real estate agent would say, this is what the home is worth. Mr. Appraiser, just figure out how to make the appraisal come in
Right.
at this price. And then that all went away, and that's where in all the appraisal laws. That's why I didn't like the justify part, because it used to be
Sounds shady, huh?
It used to be shady. It used to be shady, and that's one of the reasons why the property values got driven up so high, because the appraisers
Here's
would
what
be
I
like,
want.
"Here."
Give it to
that-
me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's,
Phone rings. Hello,
that's very
Slim Shady
true
Appraisal. May I help you?
from the listing side of things, I would list a property, and on the same street, I'd see someone list a property a week later for $20,000 more than the one I just sold the week before.
So
in
can
a
we
matter of a
assume-
week.
Can we assume that the whole system has begun to clean up the appraisal shadiness? The new system, what we're doing?
For a while, it kind of actually restricted beyond reasonable.
Oh,
Yes.
But it seems like it's normalizing
Yeah.
a little bit now.
I had a
think they've got-
transaction.
It's a pendulum swing.
I had a
and we're starting to
transaction
go
where
to
the
middle.
appraisal came in $50,000 under our purchase price. That's a
Sweet.
dramatic.
I'm legit. I'm a legit appraiser.
And it killed the deal, and the buyer.
Oh, I can't even imagine
yeah.
why, Frank.
Well, actually, that appraiser did a bad job, I believe, because I did a BPO myself on it, and they were
Broker
using
price opinion.
they were using homes on across a major street in another city,
Yeah.
and I proved that to the appraiser's supervisor for a fact. But he said, we're sorry, we've already done the appraisal, and it stands."
Well, it seems like we just flowed right into a great topic. What happens if an appraisal?
Well, no, that's not
Not
fair.
yet.
No,
We got to finish.
no,
this.
you got to.
Mommy, where do appraisals come from? Where do appraisals come from? That's
just
your
talked
topic.
Break it
about
down.
it.
That was it?
Oh, you want me
Oh.
to break it down?
Break it down.
Okay.
Justify it.
Frank, we need break it down music.
What is an appraisal? An appraisal is a valuation of property that is based on current and local market activity.
Okay, now the human
What?
interpretation of it rather than the encyclopedia that you just
Did you
read.
get that off of Wikipedia?
That's me.
You got that off
Yes,
of
sir.
That is me.
Alissa.
I don't know if you guys know me outside, but that's pretty much me.
It's Alyssapedia.
At least
So that's how we break it down. Okay.
Just know that
here it
clean. Wow.
Clean
Clean and green grass does not add to your home value.
Where are we going with this?
I don't know, but I'm kind of liking this whole clean green
No,
grass
the reason
thing.
why I heard clean and green is because I'm reading that somebody gave me the book, The 7 Habits of, I don't know, some old book by
Old
the
book.
guy that
Stephen
did that.
Covey?
Yeah.
7 Habits of Highly Effective
And I'm
People?
on the chapter that's talking about clean and green.
Clean and
lawn.
green.
So that's
it's
why it's
really
in
a
there.
good idea to get a green. It's good.
I disagree.
Be quiet.
I
You're
think
going to
a
have
nice,
your chance.
clean, unhoarded like home.
Unhoarded.
Yeah,
You walk in,
would
you
be-
get
would be
you
good
get an
idea.
impression of a home when you walk
now
in.
we
and
can't
it's
put it on
just
cable
No,
cluttered.
that just
TV.
makes
Now
it
that's
harder to
emotional
measure
price.
things.
That's
that
not
just makes
value,
it harder
that's
to measure
price.
things.
We live on
That's all.
emotion.
Just know that they're really just looking at measurements, physical.
I had a girlfriend like that one.
characteristics of the house.
What are we?
9 minutes. 9 minutes.
9 minutes into.
We need a category on the blog of
I had a girlfriend.
of all I had a girlfriend comments.